Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
On today's episode, Yu-Gi-Oh! For real this time. Welcome, everybody. Brooklyn Rage has been taken from me, so I will be now using the more original text-accurate Osakan Rage, Maxudiin, here with the king of games himself, master of the Shadow Realm, Isekai Sensei Sama Brad.
I'm literally going to murder people because it turns out I was a bully at the beginning.
Yes? You're going to murder people? Well, no, that was the thing. I don't remember. I think we talked about it in the last episode. We recorded like a month and change ago. Of the Shadow Games the Shadow Games existed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Always, but them getting taken to the Shadow Realm was a 4kidsism, because otherwise he was killing them. Yeah. But this was one of those changes to make it better that made it more terrible in a sort of like mental shock way, because it's like, if you're dead, you're dead, but it's like your soul and body is now stuck in an endless realm of darkness. Yeah. With no beginning and end, you're just stuck there forever. And that seems like worse, because that's like assured hell. You die, it's like, maybe it just stops, maybe you go to heaven, maybe, whatever your belief system is.
You die in the game, you die in real life.
You Shadow Realm in real life. But yes, we are actually covering Yu-Gi-Oh! Chapter 1 for real this time. I originally had plans to do all of the major Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. You'd have known that if you listened to the bonus episode a couple weeks ago, or whenever that happens.
Last week. Hopefully. I didn't edit it yet.
But then I found out that a bunch of those are anime first, and we just had an arc that had a bunch of messy stuff with anime and manga, so I was just like, no. Maybe some point in the future, but no, I don't want to do more manga. That is the afterthought. And Brad's like, we should go back and actually do chapter 1 while we're here, so... And I said, that's a good idea. And then I read this chapter, and I'm like, thank you for suggesting that. This was weird.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that I didn't remember and wasn't expecting, because I know I've read this before as at least a teenager, if not an adult.
Definitely would not be prepared for this if you had come from the cartoon.
Oh, even more so. So, as we said last time, this is arted by Kazuki Takahashi. Yu-Gi-Oh! Classic, Yu-Gi-Oh! Original, ran for 59 chapters from March 1997 to March 1998, but as we said last time, the distinction between Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it was Duelist is quote-unquote what we covered, is a Western-only thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Just kept going, and at some point it swapped over to cards. There was no...
And what is Yu-Gi-Oh! R?
Yu-Gi-Oh! R is a follow-up spin-off written by somebody else, but that follows the Yu-Gi storyline. All the other ones... follow somebody else, but I don't know if they're like canonically in the same universe or not. I didn't read them.
At least some of them are, because Yugi shows up in, I know at least one of them.
Okay.
I forget which one.
Probably the school one. That would make sense while it was still kind of a baton pass. But yeah, there's like, I don't know, like I said, we did all the specific talk last time. So because it's the warning. The warning you always get before you come into this is that the card game came later, and this is just about games. Yeah. And coming back to this with that thought in my head made this one even stranger. Because I remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, he plays, like, I love a good, like, puzzle game thing of, like, we're playing poker, or we're playing, like, where's the ball under the cup, or we're playing, there's so many different things, and it's like, I love the, like, let's have a high-level thought, or, like, freaking any of the, like, JoJo doing rock, paper, scissors stuff or something. Like, I love all that stuff, and it's like, whatever.
Nope.
Let's get into it.
It's Danganronpa instead.
It is Danganronpa. You're right. This is Dang-ass Ron Paul before Dang-ass Ron Paul was almost 2 decades.
I don't know the numbers.
A decade and change. But with that, let's get. We clearly want to talk about this, so let's get through my Moxie's Mux Speed manga summary. There is a history of games. Game history is interwoven with human history, starting in the ancient Egyptian Empire 5,000 years ago. Sorry, Mesopotamians, you're not cool enough for this, I guess.
Haven't they ever heard of the
Haven't you heard? I'm Enkidu.
the game of
Ancient games foretold the future for citizens and kings. As games were played, fate was decided in magical ceremonies. These were called the Shadow Games. Duel 1, there's that chapter naming thing we like. The Puzzle of the Gods. And the splash page has the weirdest looking art of Yugi I've ever. He's just not right. Not even from like what I remember him looking like. He's just anatomically incorrect.
Okay, this is we have to say this so everybody can be on the same page before you go through the whole thing. For some reason, Yugi doesn't have a nose.
Oh my goodness, is that why he looks strange?
When you see his side profile, he very obviously has a nose. But every mostly straight on shot you see of him,
have one?
No nose. It's just all rounded. And the whole time I'm just like, why?
Maybe that's why he looked doing? I didn't pick that up, but maybe that's why my brain constantly said he looked strange.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody looks wrong.
Yeah.
They're not their designs yet. I say this in this thing. I'm going to shut up. Except I'm going to talk, but I'm going to talk about the things I'm supposed to talk about. It's lunchtime. Time for basketball, but Yugi is too busy playing the pop-up pirate game by himself to go, also knowing he'd lose. He gets out the treasure puzzle box to finally finish it, but then Joey and Tristan, I'm sorry, the translator has corrected me here, Jonochi and Honda, who also really don't look like themselves at all, steal the box and bully Yugi before Anzu steps in to help shoo them away. I did really appreciate, literally the translator has notes that tells you, hey, you might know this is Joey, because none of this came over until after Duelist had come to Blitz, and I'm like, I appreciate that, and
specifically,
honestly.
Joey from the TV series.
Yes, I love
Tristan from the TV series.
I honestly liked that a lot. Yugi asks why Anzu is not out playing b-ball, and she says the boys were looking up their skirts when they made their shots, which Yugi, for some reason, imagines in his head. What the fuck is this manga?
Yeah.
Not the first time, not the last time this is going to happen this chapter. Yugi then describes his puzzle box. Something you see but have never seen before is the riddle given to him by his not late game store running grandpa. Why do they do that? Maybe because I already know he's alive, but he talks like he's dead.
Yeah.
And then it's like a gag
also,
later.
I don't think we ever actually got an answer to this riddle.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I'm like, this seemed like something I was stupid and didn't think about. So Brad will know. And you saying that is like, yeah, it never comes back.
No, and I'm like, wait, what is an upside down pyramid? How does that, what?
Yeah. Is it the idea that you've never been to Egypt to see them, but you've seen pictures of them? Who gave him the riddle? Is the riddle from the ancient Egyptians would have seen them? They built the dang things.
And
they were
also,
there.
It would be pretty obvious that it's a pyramid shape from the beginning.
I guess.
Based on the pieces of it.
Yugi describes it was found in Egypt, and legend has it that whoever completes it get a wish, which he secretly describes to Anzu, but we, the reader, aren't shown what it is. It's very this is Luffy's dream moment, where it's like, you're not going to get to know it, reader.
Except we do.
We do at the end, then. Unlike Luffy's, which we still don't know at time of recording. Then we cut away to our two bullies.
His dream is to be the Pirate King.
No, he's a different one. He's the thing that he wants. Whatever. I'm getting distracted. And then we cut away to our two bullies, and an even bigger bully shows up to either bully the bullies or anti-bully them. It's unclear. Big Man says, stop picking on people. We then learn he's fucking Joey. I have to say Joey. I never know how to say this name. Joey stole a piece of the puzzle box and chucks it into the pool. Now we'll never finish it. Big Man Ushio, who's the giant bully I talked about earlier, finds Yugi and offers to be his bodyguard, but secretly inside he's thinking he's duped a mark. What is this manga? Then Yugi gets home to the game store to find his grandfather isn't actually dead. Then grandfather states Anzu's bust has gotten bigger. What the fuck, Grandpa? She's like 15. I wrote 15. I don't know how old. Did they say what year of high school they're in?
I think they're first years.
Okay, I could believe that.
Yeah.
Don't do it regardless of what year in high school. Don't do that. You're an old man. We learn the dangers of the Millennium Puzzle, that many died attempting to find and solve it. The last one saying, the Shadow Games, before he died. Cut to tomorrow.
And he just lets Yugi have it.
Yep.
Even though at one point he's like, we could sell it for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then he just like, okay, you can have it. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's a lot of like, what the fuck? Cut to tomorrow, and Big Man Ushio calls Yu-Gi-Oh! Out to see he has beaten up Joey and Tristan. For you, because I'm your bodyguard. Now pay up. But I didn't even want you to do that. You can't hurt my friends. No, really pay up, or else you're the one getting hurt.
And ask for a lot of money. Like
an insane amount. For like a high school.
The amount that you would go, wait a minute.
Like a terrorist.
How would you expect a high school student to get that much money? How would you expect an adult to get together that much money?
He's an idiot. This character's very strange. Then Ushio beats up Yugi. Beating Yugi at home works on the puzzle.
Oh, no,
again.
you missed a very important part.
Did I miss one?
He pulls out a knife.
I forgot about the knife.
He's like,
that will be important later.
He's like, I'm gonna cut you
next time.
You can hit them all you want, and I'm gonna hurt them some more. Pulls out a knife, and Yugi's like, no, and stands in front of them.
Please do not escalate. Beating Yugi at home works on the puzzle again, and it's just really coming together tonight for some reason. But wait, he's still missing a piece. Dang it! But wait, Grandpa is here with the missing piece. A friend stopped by to drop it off, and we see it was Joey in a cutaway, which I kind of like that part. That was good. With the puzzle complete, Yugi takes on a third eye opening transformation. Then we cut to nighttime, where Yugi has called Ushi out with his dark eyeliner-wearing new persona. He will pay up, but a game for money
Still
first.
missing his nose.
Like, I thought maybe he'd get it when he gets that's the power, is he gets a nose. But first, a game. You will stab the money with a knife on your hand, and you can keep what you stab.
Meanwhile, Yugi somehow got together even more money, double the amount of money that was requested.
I'm assuming he worked with his but they never it's very unclear.
His grandpa did give him the amount of money he needed.
Yeah.
And he somehow got that amount again.
An old man running a game store does not have that kind of... I don't know. I assume most of them are skating by, but maybe this is pre-Magic. This is pre-Warhammer.
He probably has
maybe
just a shitload of money stashed away from
I guess
all
if he's
his
getting
archaeology
Egyptian
stuff.
artifacts.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game is just very strange. They go back and forth. You have to control your greed, but something about the game makes Ushio's inner greed instincts come out, and he can't stab the money without hurting himself. So he goes to stab Yugi. But then Yugi's like, you broke the rules, now I'll pull it out of your pubic hairs. You motherfucker. He doesn't actually say that, but he does say you broke the rules. Penalty game, illusion of avarice. And Ushio sees pretend money flow around him that he tries to gab at.
Pot of greed.
Yeah, honestly. But we learn the next day he's just literally in the school grounds grabbing leaves if they're money, and he looks dirty and messy like you would be running around in leaves all night. And then the next day, Yugi has his puzzle and hopefully his wish. He doesn't remember finishing it or what happened last night. He runs into Joey, and they're friends now. That was my wish. Friendship. I can't believe how awful of a I was entertained by it, but this is because I'm a tourist right now. But if I read this as a first chapter and none of Yu-Gi-Oh existed, not that I had even taken it in, to know that it's a giant thing that came from this first chapter is insane.
Yeah.
This first chapter is awful.
Okay.
I love it. I had a great time reading it as a tourist, but I think as a thing that you would in the vein of our normal thing where we read a new thing from Jump. This first chapter is a fucking mess.
Yes. So, and I think it's important to be clear here because this was not awful, but it was bad.
It's a mess.
It was a mess. There was a lot of things wrong with it. There's just a lot of stuff where you're just going, what the hell?
It's like he plays games, but then the first proper game he plays isn't a game.
Yeah.
It's like a weird bargain deal that doesn't make sense.
It's
and a bunch of bullshit.
What's the thing with
I thought he was going to play Five Finger Fillet.
Yeah,
That's what I thought he was going to do when he takes the knife out. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And he's just going to be, because when he gets on his little we know he takes on the power of some ancient pharaoh that he just becomes hyper capable and hyper and I'm like, but this was just because I thought, but it's not even his power. It's just going, oh, because we're in a Shadow Realm game, your inner character traits come out stronger and you're greedy, so that's why you fail. There's no, he's not Yugi doesn't win via a knowledge or trickery. He just sets up a game that the other guys no power to do anything about, and then just goes, oh, that part was so unneeded because it should have just been oh, he overdoes it and he stabs himself, and instead of continuing the game, he goes to stab Yugi out of rage or something. Yeah. And then Yugi does the, you broke the rules bit. But the fact that it's just oh, also this other bullshit rule is here. Me as the hero has instated this bullshit rule into the rules. And that's why you get to go crazy now or you're wanting to stab your hand more. But he knows that he's getting more greedy and he'll stab his hand. So that's when he decides, it's just very there was a better way to tell, there was good ingredients here and you just sort of messed it up. The weird, I have a thing from my grandpa. I don't actually know what happened to Yugi's parents. Could it have been from Yugi's parents? Were they archaeologists? Couldn't they go oh, this is from my late parents or my parents that are never around? Why did we need to do the fake out that grandpa's dead or not? in the first chapter, like, why would you?
I think
there's no purpose
they
for it.
specifically were playing that for the joke.
It was, but it was just
Don't
more
kill
like,
me off so early.
yeah, like that was funny, but it was just very like, why did you act like he was dead if we were going to see him 6 pages from now on the first chapter when we don't know what down and up is?
It will be a memento from my grandfather.
It will, yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's kind of funny, but it's like, that's a gag you save for at least a chapter or two. Not 6 pages later.
I think if...
You have to make me believe it for a little while.
I think if we had come into this as if it had just come out, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't exist
I'm trying to
yet,
do that a little bit.
I think we would have been like, okay, this is weird, and there's a lot of stuff wrong, but like, okay, maybe there's something going on here that could be cool, right? But then also... there's just too many problems with it. The art is like obviously a competent artist, but just makes some really strange choices.
Just like body, like you said, the nose, like that initial splash page where Yugi just like his proportions look wrong. Like there's just a lot of, and maybe it's just because I have so much what it goes on to look like later in my head that it looks wrong, extra wrong. But it's like it's also just not good art. Each
character like has a different art style. Did you notice that?
Yugi doesn't look like he belongs with anybody else in this manga, which I guess is kind of the point.
But then,
he's
like,
supposed to be the hero.
Joey looks strangely realistic, and the girl,
Taya,
has
Hanzo.
Also looks strangely realistic, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And then Tristan is sort of, you don't even get any of him. He's sort of just in the background, even though he is interacting with them.
Yeah.
It's
mostly Joey, because
so
Joey's the one that comes back and he's friends then. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming they deal with Tristan in the second chapter, maybe, because I know he joins the gang at some point. But it's just like, there's just so many, like, I think this is one of those ones of like the bits that we think are good are just like, these are good that we've seen in other manga and are just good storytelling beats, but they've been put together so poorly that it's like, I can't give you credit for these things. Because it's like, oh, I love the idea of like, oh, ancient person gives you a thing. And I'm like, oh, that happened. That was Hikaru no Go, a game about Go, where he gets an ancient, like, and it's like, I like that thing of like, shy character gets a power that allows him to be more confident and capable in situations. And like, I like that. But it's done poorly here. Because like I said, it's just like, and that Yugi doesn't remember. Like, again, I'm just so stuck on the fact that it's like, the rules, the game is already weird and bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's not a game that anybody knows. Because the thing I was remember hearing about Yugi is that the guy loved games. So it'd be like, oh, take a game. Because the concept is such an easy knockout is take a game people know, give it high stakes, and have through his cleverness that he overcomes the odds and wins the game against the bully. And then he can brain break the bully. I don't care. That big guy's super weird.
Should have brought that the barrel
the pirate
thing back.
game. Because he had that. He's just sitting on the desk. Nobody talks about it. He doesn't talk about it. He's just sitting at his desk before quote-unquote recess has started, playing it by himself.
And apparently he brings multiple games every day.
But then he just decides he's done with that game that's sitting on his desk, so he brings out the puzzle box, even though he's already been playing the Pirate Pop-Up game by himself.
I feel like he was playing it, trying to get other people to come over and play with him.
Yes,
and
now
then
everybody's
everyone
left.
And so he's like,
I'll do the puzzle box, I guess. Then have that. I mean, I guess they still have the basketball stuff. The weird horniness that is just not present in like.
I think that's normal Shonen Jump.
It is, but it just for you, like the weirdly of that era detailed. Like here's the panty shot. He's imagining. It's like why was this like I didn't need that, and maybe that's the era, but it was very just like why.
I actually haven't seen. I can't remember a panty shot that detailed in a long time.
It's been a while. I've seen them before, but yeah, it's been a while, and I know we're going back to like the late '90s, but it's just very because
it wasn't even like, oh, this is happening right now. It was like Yugi is imagining it happening, and it's like that was pretty explicit.
Yeah, like don't. You can have that as like a thing she says to like whatever your brain, but it's like don't make our timid hero imagine this.
I mean, it makes sense. He's a high school boy. That would have happened.
But it doesn't. Like there's so many things that don't help sell this hero because if he was more of an asshole, like if he was more of like a rough, but like he's not. He's a timid little guy.
Yeah.
He's got little guy energy, and the fact that it's like both in his regular form and his souped up form, he's just kind of a shitter. Secretly is just like, no, this isn't working.
And then the whole they're trying to do the Master Roshi thing with the grandfather.
Yeah, and it's just like, don't.
What they should have done then is she should have said, wow, I can't wait until I can have a memento for you.
Yeah, that's a funny, yeah, I hope you die. Like, yeah, more than just like creepy old, like.
Fuck off, creepy old man.
It's just not tonally with the, like.
I'm 15 years old.
It's such a mess. Why is it such a mess? Like, there's so many. I think it's like, because what I recently remember, because I was looking at the Jump app before, and we went back to doing our tried and true thing of shitting on Ganran Egg. But it's like Ganran Egg, it's like when it's a big shonen adventure, the scope is so much bigger, but this is like a very like small time personal story.
Yeah, so
and
far
it's,
at least.
it's hard to find ones that are like of that, where it's not like we're in a fantasy world. Like there's in a fantasy world or something like that, there's more ways that things can be wrong because it's not normal life. But this is essentially a heightened version of reality. But it is still so not good at storytelling.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
That's
but again,
the
I was
thing.
very entertained by it. Like, I'm very much at a crossroads with that.
Yeah, I think that there is a good story in here. It's just not executed very well.
Like I said, like the ingredients are good. They
the
just
whole
put it
thing
together
about
wrong.
him being a bit of a loner, but
Yeah.
not completely
But he
alone.
loves games,
and he
then
loves
this-
games, and he's sort of getting bullied. And then he's got this puzzle. The puzzle's ancient Egypt. Maybe set up why he has it better than just like, oh, I found it on the back of a shelf.
When Grandpa's there and it's his shelf, and
Right.
Grandpa is like, and also great, like we said before, it's like Grandpa has not good details about it.
And then like
Unhelpful
completing the
detail.
like protecting the people who were bullying him from another bully, that's good. And like then Joey coming around because of that, and like, oh, we're gonna be friends. So I went and got that piece back. Even it was detrimental to me because I had to like swim in this pond to get it
It
or
was the pool.
whatever.
It was straight up the school's pool.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he throws it out the window and it lands in the pool.
And
How
then
he knows it's in the pool, I guess, because he just remembered where he tossed it out the
Yeah.
window and was like, I see it in the pool. It's a gold thingy.
and then completing the puzzle and getting the pharaoh power and like confronting the bully and maybe do the game differently, but that was, neither here nor there.
But
as
like
far
the
as,
game is such a like these are all pieces we've seen in Jump before, and like you said, they're good pieces.
Yeah.
That's just like we could rewrite this first chapter and make it better without really changing anything that's important.
right.
I would make the bigger bully guy is weird. I feel like he should like they're like he wanders the streets. He's bigger than anybody. Even the teachers can't tell him. It's like, why are you introducing this guy like that? Like you've already introduced bullies, and now there's another one, and he's helping Yugi, but also he's gonna con him.
I don't think that setup was bad because like they established
was
that he's
messy.
the hall monitor.
He's a self-appointed hall monitor.
Oh, did it say that?
That was the vibe that I got from what they had said.
I must have
I
missed
read that. I read hall monitor more as concept than like literally he's got backing from the school to do this. It
No, I
just seemed
think
like he was a
literally
kid
is.
that did what he wanted.
Which is why no one was like thought it was strange that he was, dealing with the
Well, no,
other
because they make a
bullies.
point that he's so big and violent that nobody can tell him what to do. That was the vibe that I got from the words that I read. I don't know.
Maybe.
But he's just like a weird and extra. Like it's just weird that it's like the bullies and then more bullies, and it's like there were two bullies, but now there's a bigger bully, and he's like. I feel like there's a way where it's just like a criminal, like a guy who's more clearly like this guy is like a criminal punk guy and not just like a bigger bully. Like there's just so many little things you can tweak that I think just makes the story flow and fit and thematically feel better. Like that's the thing. It's so weird when it's like, yeah, the bones are here, but the skin is bad.
Right.
The skin is rancid, and it's like I don't know. We had another manga like that where honestly the bones were good, but all the like small detail bits were just like, what are you doing?
I feel like this happens a lot.
But usually there's
Where-
like bad bones, or there's like not interesting. Because it's like they're swinging. He's swinging for stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the thing that I had most recently was Kanado's Magic, where it was just like you could move these parts around better, and they'd link together something more interesting. But also like. I don't think Kanado's Magic is not swinging for the fences with like puzzle games and ancient Egypt and a knife game. Like it's like that. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Chapter 1's wildin'. Like it's out there.
Yeah.
Like it's swinging for it, and I guess I respect it for that. But it is just like this jalopy is not put together well.
Right.
I mean, in a weird way, we know where it goes, but like what? How does Yugi keep finding himself in situations where he has to play high stakes games and then brain break people? Like, are there just more bullies coming?
I wonder because it sort of felt to me like the other Millennium items didn't get introduced until Duel Masters. That's the feeling I got.
I think you're no. Tristan has his, I believe, and Tristan shows up in original Yu-Gi-Oh. I think
Tristan?
The kid with the white hair.
That's not Tristan. Tristan's one of the Yugi's
No,
friends.
you're right. What's his name?
Um,
You know what I'm talking about? I can kind of picture him, but I don't remember his name very well. Yu-Gi-Oh characters with white hair. Google help me. I'm getting a B.
But you think he shows up in the first?
I swear he's in the first part. Not Bak. What's the actual? Let's not on the non-Jap. This is Yami Bakura.
Bakura.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's just the way they say it. Yeah. I think he shows up later, and I know he is a money, but I think that's a thing that's a part of the original set. I don't remember. But yeah, like I think usually it's like this is a mess, but they're not really going for anything. But it's like this is a mess, and they're going for things. But like, there's just a better way to do the storytelling. Like it's just like you could grease the gears, and this would just be a lot more of a pleasant experience. Which clearly he got better at it because it went on to become a big thing. Even though I guess I wasn't super hot on the chapter of Yu-Gi-Oh we read then, anyways, because it just seemed maybe it got tuned up a little bit, or maybe I had too much nostalgia goggles. But it is very much just like a series of bullshit things happened, but they were more interesting bullshit things. But also they weren't. I didn't like it that much.
But you could also tell from that one where it's very much like.
But the art was a lot better.
Yeah, this is the I figured things out version.
This is a chapter. I guess to jump ahead a little bit in the grand scheme, this is a chapter, if I read this in Jump, that I'd go, in the vein of like Ping Pong Peril, where I go, I have to see what chapter 2 is of this.
Right.
It's got a little car crash energy to it, that it's like, oh, I need to know what happens next. Like, I wasn't bored. I'm just like, this is not good. It's like a -6 or 7. I was just like what the heck?
Oh, that's tough because I feel like there's some good stuff in here.
Yes, but that can lead to a better negative score, because a big negative score isn't bad. Because that implies there's something here. But what you get out of it is not for on its own terms.
I
There's
feel
like a
like
certain amount of what the fuckedness going on.
Instead of just a spectrum from 10 to -10,
Yeah.
we actually need dual axes.
What's the other axis then?
The other axis is I guess how interesting it is, maybe.
But that's also captured by it. A 0 is true boredom. A 0 is true nothing.
But see, that doesn't quite make sense to me because feel like
you have a different approach to media than I do.
Yeah, but like it needs to.
The higher you get to a 10 or a -10 is the more interesting something is. If it's a 10, if it's a +10, it's more on the work's own terms, and if it's a -1, it's more at the work's expense, or like because there's a lot of like. Like I always say, like maybe not to me personally, but I've heard described. It's like the movie Tommy Wiseau's The Room is a perfect -10. It is a fascinating car crash that you can't look away from. I don't personally think it's a -10, but I use that as a well-known measuring stick of like going,
right.
This is the concept we're talking of. Like on its own terms, this movie is awful, but as a work that you take in, it's fascinating.
But I would say like the Room is like a 0 in quality and a 10 in how interesting it is. And the fact that it's a 0 in quality does lend to how interesting it is. But
it's put together enough, because like that's the thing, is there's a certain amount of not put together that it's not, because there was that one like isekai one we read where I'm like, I feel like I'm having a stroke, and that's just not fun. Like there's nothing, the quality is so low that I can't even take this work in. It's like it needs to have enough of a skeleton,
right,
to take it in. Like there needs to be a certain level of quality that's not just.
But do you call that boredom?
I mean, maybe that's what I need the other thing of like, because like that's its own thing that kind of puts it more towards I said as a true 0 is boredom, but of like either boredom of like I can't take this in.
Right. Yeah, and that's my thing is like I wouldn't call that boredom.
Maybe we do need another axis, but I think that's a conversation for another time. But I think there's more there, what those two axes are. Because I think there is something to the idea of this is interesting for the reasons it's supposed to be, that it's intentionally doing, and this is interesting at the work's expense.
Yeah. And I would say for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's not interesting at the work's expense. I think the interesting parts of it are intentional.
But the thing that's driving me forward is the car crash thing. I'm not emotionally invested in it as a story.
I think that's an additional
I think the what the fuckedness is what's driving me forward.
I feel like the what the fuck stuff is intertwined within this is actually what is supposed to be happening.
I mean, yes, but at the end of the day, I don't think I don't think this is a good first chapter of manga, even though I was entertained by it. I cannot say that this was like, oh, an artist made this. This is put together well. The art was good. Like, I can't say any of those things.
Yeah, it comes down to the bones, like we've been saying. Like,
and the bones are solid.
Yeah. There's an interesting story here, but it's also interesting because of how bad it is.
It was just constantly like weirdly wrong choices are being made, and that's the through line. So I think with all this, let's get to our conclusions then, unless you have any other closing. So, I think this is fine to bad.
Okay.
I feel this is fascinating. As a tourist, I feel this is fascinating.
I think fine to bad is probably a good description because there's very clearly many things wrong with this.
Yeah.
But you need to have that little bit of hope in there of like, there's a story here.
I can't.
You could do something with this.
I can't call it bad. I cannot get like. I don't want to hate this manga. Yeah. Even though I could just go structurally, it's like if we had just this, I would be having a field day with it, which I kind of did here. But I also can't call it fine because there's too different. Like sometimes it's like there's one thing that keeps showing up that we throw. This is not good, but it's like the myriad of different styles of bad that Yu-Gi-Oh! Chapter 1 is fascinating. Again, I come back to it. I feel it's fascinating.
This is fine to bad, parentheses, baffling.
Yeah, I feel like I need a thing between fine and bad. That feels like there's something between those. Bad feels too, like the jump from fine to bad feels too strong. You know what I mean? Like, is meh in there?
That's too bored.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think fine to bad is fine.
Listener, if you have a word that catches bad there, let me know, because that feels like too big of a jump for me, for this jump manga.
Where
are you at?
This is hard. I guess I'll just go with a straight up bad.
Wow.
Because I was trying to think like, did I dislike this enough to go to even worse? But I don't think so.
Like that's that's why I go with my negative thing. Is it's like it was a fascinating read. Like I did not regret reading this. I'm not angry. Like after I read it, I'm like, Brad, I am so glad you told me that we should go back and do this because it was super worth it.
But at the same time, basically every single page,
something's wrong.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Turn the page. What the fuck?
Why?
Turn the page. What?
No, that's kind of what the fuck? But I'm not mad at it. And I think some of that's because I know what it goes on to become.
I'm frustrated.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You feel frustrated then. Feel frustrated.
I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
What do you think? Or did you already, was that your, you think it's bad, you feel it's what?
I think it's fine to bad. I feel it's bad.
Interesting. Okay.
I wouldn't.
Do you want to put a spin on that?
If I had no other knowledge about this, if this was literally the first chapter, I would go, there's no way I'm reading more of this. What the hell?
Oh, I would. Like I said, this was like, it would have to keep that, because that's the problem, is sometimes when something is bad, it's bad in the same way, and that becomes boring because the story is not actually good enough to take you forward. And it's like, once the car crash is done and you go, oh, this is the dimensions of the car crash, you have no tricks left. You're not good.
Yeah.
So can you keep setting off new sparklers and explosions on the car? Can there be multiple crashes in new ways? So, but I also know that Yu-Gi-Oh goes on too. Again, I guess, because collectively I go, I like Yu-Gi-Oh, but between last episode, which admittedly we recorded like a month ago, it's like, I remember not liking it very much. I remember being like, it's a lot of bullshit that feels like it should be more and it's not.
The card game that has no rules.
Yeah. But I remembered liking it more, and maybe that was just me kind of autocomplete. And I'd read more of it as an adult, like especially this first part of it, this Yu-Gi-Oh! Or prologue, original, whatever you want to call it. That's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Z. But yeah, no, I would not buy it, but I would read, if this was like a jump thing, I would read it as it came out until I decided to get off the bus.
I would be waiting until someone was like, hey, Yu-Gi-Oh's getting really good. They're doing this, that, and the other thing. And then I'd be like,
much like Ping Pong Peril, I'd probably go like 3 or 4 chapters in, and usually around then is when I go. Even week by week, I go, this ain't cutting, I'm getting bored. This ain't cutting mustard, and I cut it loose. So that's kind of where I'm at. Hey, we're kind of on the same page. I was not expecting this when you said I'm like, oh, this will be homework. Like I thought, not in a bad way, but I thought us going back to this would just be like, let's knock this off. And this finishes the set of I wanted to do Yu-Gi-Oh, and now we because the Yu-Gi-Oh episode we did that you've already heard by now that I haven't reheard is like not, because it's so not the first chapter.
Yeah. And that was my thing is the reason I wanted to go back to this, the reason I suggested, hey, we should still do this instead of abandoning the arc.
Yeah. I mean, we were never going to do this one within the arc anyways, so I'm glad we went back to it all the same.
There was a clear thing of like, hey, we know that the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was something so completely different than all of the anime that we got. I want to see what that is. What is the nucleation point for this?
And it's even weirder than we thought.
Yeah.
And I thought I knew and I didn't know. But yeah, I was about to say, Brad, play the card that does the credits, but I can't do that because there's no cards.
Hold on. Put your hand out. I'm going to put the stack of money.
Yugi plays the game. If you can fit your whole hand on your head, you'll win the game. And then they do that, and then he punches them in the face. Like that's what this Yami Yugi is. It's not like I was clever. It's just like gotcha. But that kind of a voice. Oh, you're waiting for me to come up with a bit. Dang it. We'll make a game of it. See how fast you can read the credits, or you get sent to the Shadow Realm. That's terrible. And imagine at one point cars stop thinking. That would be your existence in the Shadow Realm, and that's messed up.
Well, we want to hear from people. So go on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com, where you can find a link to all of our social media. We got various things up there that you can contact us on. But as always, the best place is our Discord. So come join us there. You can also find a link up there to our Patreon, where our supporters get perks like bonus episodes. Like I said earlier, we got one for the last arc. So make sure you check that out. As well as getting to vote on stuff that we cover sometimes, and also getting the high quality stereo version of the podcast early. But of course, we also have to shout out our patrons. So first and foremost, at our royal tier, we've got our crown prince, Slimy Okra.
Slimy, give me something new to sing. All of our high people, give me something new to sing. I've heard myself sing the King of the Hill theme too many times. I'll say silly things. Just I need a new tune. I've heard myself sing it too many times now. I'm sorry. Make me dance, but do a different dance.
Also at our royal tier.
Yeah, don't you forget it.
We've got our Archduke, imaginary numeral. At our noble tier, we've got our Marquis, Sir Cake Dwarf.
Yes. As stated, give me something new to sing.
And last, and certainly not least, at our commoner tier, we've got Last Man on Earth, Rena, and Laura Carroll. So thank you so much to all our patrons.
Thank you, Brad, for doing that. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Make sure you listen to all the podcasts in our feed. And Brad, a dark presence has taken me over. I'm Yami Moxie, and we're going to play a shadow game.
Uh-oh.
We're going to see whoever stops the podcast first loses. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wait a minute. Wait, I have the button. You couldn't possibly stop the podcast.
I'll just keep talking. You push the button, Brad, at your own peril.
Well, then what about? There's no way that you can lose. I'm the only one that can lose.
That's the rub.
You set up the rules so that I couldn't win. How is that fair?
It's just like the manga, Brad. The ancient Egyptians were real assholes. Why does the double tap put me in edit mode when I'm in viewing mode? The mode for viewing. That's bullshit, they said, spitting their fucking toothpaste on the floor.
That's bullshit, they said, after they spit out what had just been put in their mouth.
Gross?
Yeah, it is pretty gross.
Why would you
spit it out too? Why
would you do that? Why would you taint this phrase that I've had in my brain for a long time for some reason? That I'm sure was a running gag or an inside joke from some ancient podcast.
I don't know what to tell you. That's what came to my head. What am I supposed to do? Not say it?
Yeah, I guess, I've let the intrusive thoughts one before. So my idea is that, like, I've been taken over. I'm Yami Moxie, and now we have to do a shadow game. But I'm trying to figure out what that is, unless that's just the ending gag, and you just going, no! And I was thinking, like, I have a knife, and I'm like, well, what would we do here that would cause you? I'm like, oh, we're just starting cutting wires, and I'm like, how is that a game? And that's where I'm at right now.
We're going to play a game. Whoever ends the podcast first loses.
That'd be a fun thing to have the credits swell underneath. I've been taken over by a presence. I am Shadow. Not Shadow. Fuck. Yami is Shadow, isn't it? No. No. We know what Shadow is. I don't think it's that. Because it's the little guy. You've said it. We've seen it other places. You go, oh, duh, Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm going to talk in that voice then. Well, think Kage. Kage. Penalty game.
I've been sent to the Shadow Realm.
I've been sent to the Shadow Realm.
It's dark in here.
Yugi, my boy. Am I a pedophile? Who knows?
All of you little boys need to come to my island.
I'm a rich man with a private island that I've invited a lot of teenage boys to. They're very specifically teen. Bandit Keith's like the oldest man, and he's in his 20s. Isn't he older? Didn't we look that up?
29?
This is all after beeps, just to be
29,
clear.
I think.
Yeah. In Ancients fell a fossil, obviously.
Yeah.
In Japan Shonen.
Oh, yeah,
years.
Definitely.
Practically. One more year, and he just instantly turns into a sensei, and he's balding and all that.
Women are useless after 24. So.
Yes, again, what just to be clear to everybody listening, Brian and I are talking in the shonen Japanese context. A woman in her mid-20s, ancient Baba. After that, a skeleton. Barren fields. Why even bother? Gross. Let's go get dinner.